Why? Because you just that mad? You just that mad you want to lay there and not say nothing? And not tell me what's going on?
This is Bonita Wright, a manipulative girlfriend who just stabbed her own boyfriend to death.
When we both had knives and we fell into the mirror. That's probably when it happened.
And she thinks she can also manipulate detectives and get away without having to face the consequences.
And I'm a very honest person. I do not recall me literally stabbing him.
But her hopes of getting away scot-free are crushed as detectives begin to catch on.
Something happened in that moment because you're getting there and you want to say it.
After a night of arguing with her boyfriend, Kieran Ficklin, 30-year-old Bonita Wright woke up at 8:30 a.m. on August 31st, 2022, to find him unresponsive and cold. She immediately ran to her neighbor's house and borrowed their phone to contact 911.
Church Lane? Okay, what's going on there?
Me and my boyfriend got into it last night. We was fighting and stuff. The police got called. And then I went upstairs and I just woke up this morning and he's laying by the front door, but he's not moving.
Okay,
Like,
so you do need an ambulance?
yeah, I need an ambulance.
So he's not moving. Is he breathing? Can you tell?
I like tapped him or whatever, and he was like, you know, so I just want somebody to hurry up and get here because, like, I don't know what's going on. I went to sleep last night. He's 28 years old, and he's laying by the door. Like, we was fighting or whatever, so,
All right, ma'am. Let me get ma'am, let me get an ambulance for you. Don't hang up. I'm going to come right back to you, okay? Hang on the phone.
When officers arrived at the scene, they found Kieran in a pool of blood right next to the front door. He had been brutally stabbed, but something was strange. Kieran had already passed away. His body seemed like it had been there for hours. The only possible suspect was Bonita herself, who not only showed no emotions while on the phone to 911, but was covered in scratches and bleeding from her nails and shoulder. It was clear that she had been part of a violent physical altercation. Consequently, she was immediately taken into custody and brought in for an interview 1 hour later. But little do officers know, they are about to discover a sick and morbid history between the two, one that led to tragedy. This footage has been provided to us by the Elyria Police Department.
Why? Why? Because you just that mad? You just that mad you want to lay there and not say nothing? And not tell me what's going on? You know my mom don't care about me, my dad don't care about me. You know this. You know everything. You know.
Do you need toilet tissue or anything? Alright, so I'm Detective Casper. This is Detective Reader.
Hey.
Alright? So, I want to get you out of here as soon as possible, okay? I'm sure you don't want to be here.
Bonita, what happened to your hair?
I put it out. I don't.
So, I want to talk to you about everything that's going on, okay?
Yes.
But before I do that, I have to read you your rights. That does not mean that you are in trouble, okay? It's just policy that you're at the police department, alright? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney and have one present during any questioning. If you can't afford one, will be appointed to you, and you can exercise these rights at any time. Do you understand? Okay. Now listen to me, that does not mean you're in trouble, okay? It's just part of our policy.
I know how the law works. If they're determined that I did something, that's what it's going to be. But I know I didn't do nothing to harm my fiancé. I just wish he would have said something.
So explain that to me a little bit. Walk me through what happened last night. I know that we were called last night for something.
What the detective is talking about here is a domestic violence complaint they received the night before Kieran was discovered dead. According to officers at the scenes, Bonita and Kieran were involved in a heated argument, both demanding the other one to leave the house. However, neither had physically hurt the other or done anything illegal, and officers left soon after as they had no legal grounds to intervene at the time. Just a few hours later, Kieran was dead. Whatever transpired after the officers left is the reason Kieran was stabbed. And this is something that detectives desperately need to figure out, as this entire case relies upon finding out what happened in these few hours.
When we got into it, we was already, somebody told me he was cheating on me.
Okay.
So I let it be that. I said what I said. So we was not talking the whole day because he was upset about me saying that he was cheating on me. And I went to my sister's house. I was drinking. My neighbor came over. We was all taking shots. And when I got home, I don't even remember coming home. But I know we had to have words because...
Was he there already?
Yes, he was already there.
Does he have a key?
I gave him. I dropped the key off to his friend's house. He went to his friend's house earlier yesterday.
Okay.
So I drove to his friend's house and I dropped the key off to him. So we had to have words because it went from his stuff being where it was to his stuff being in his suitcases.
Okay. Like he was packing to leave.
Yeah, or either I was packing his stuff to leave, and then the police got called.
Okay.
So when I was trying to talk to them, he was telling them like, yeah, take her to jail. She doing this, she doing that. She all, belligerent or whatever because I was drinking. So I closed the door. I'm like, I'm not going nowhere because I live here. I pay bills here. Like, you my boyfriend. In your name? Yes, you my boyfriend, and I asked you to be, in my household or whatever. So that was that.
What time was that about?
I probably got home around like maybe 12 or 1, something in between that time.
Did you actually talk to the officers last night?
Yeah, I remember talking to them. I had a few words with them, but like I said, I was drinking, so I wasn't trying to talk to nobody.
Sure, I understand.
And I don't know. It just went blank, like. So
you pretty much said, hey, I want him out of here for the night.
Yeah.
And obviously they can't do that because he technically lives there. So
that was that. And I remember getting into an altercation with him, and the table, he kept saying, oh, you want to throw my shit out? I'm about to break everything in your house. And I was trying to fight, stop him from breaking everything. So we got into an altercation. That's how the table broke, then the glass broke. And,
the mirror, maybe?
The mirror or whatever. And I don't know if he grabbed the knife first and if I took it from him, but I just know that I'm a woman and you a man. And you're not about to do that to me.
What was it? You said it was physical. Was he like pushing you? Was it shoving?
Yeah, I know my lip is swollen. When this started, my lip is swollen.
You got a big cut out.
And then my cut and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to defend myself, period.
Sure.
That's what it's going to be. But I remember him getting the first aid kits and like, babe, just bandage yourself up. You bleeding everywhere, this, that. And I went upstairs and I went to bed.
So he actually got you with the knife?
Supposedly. Like,
do you remember that?
I remember him going, and grabbing a knife. I remember that. And
what did the knife look like? Do you remember?
I got several knives. So
was it like a pocket knife? Was it a kitchen
knife?
Was it a sword?
A steak knife.
A steak knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember me grabbing another one and trying to but he's a man. He's gonna overpower me. And that one, like, the handle and stuff broke off. Like, it's not even with a handle on it no more. It's just a knife.
Just a blade?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Although Benita claims much of the fight happened in self-defense, there is one glaring issue. During her arrest and ride to the police station, Benita continuously claimed that Kieran had self-harm tendencies and stabbed himself with the knife. Considering his injuries, this was impossible. Kieran had a 4-inch stab wound in a downward direction, consistent with an overhand strike that can only be inflicted by an attacker. Additionally, the dimensions of the wound matched perfectly with the steak knife Benita had during the altercation. But keep in mind that the detective does not know this yet, as Kieran's body is still being processed. Benita likely realized later on that this initial story could be disproven easily and switched to claiming self-defense right before this interview. However, this is only one of the many inconsistencies that present itself because as the detective questions her further, her entire story from this night begins to fall apart.
Alright, so I'm gonna make sure I get all this right. So last night, you get word that he's cheating on you, potentially.
That was weeks ago.
Okay. But last night, did you catch him with somebody else?
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. That was stemmed from a couple days ago.
So it kind of just
like
boiled
day before
over.
Yesterday. Yeah, it boiled over. Like he was still mad about it.
Okay. So you go over to your sister's, you're drinking, you come home, he's there. But you drop the key off to his buddy. You guys get to arguing, the police get called. Obviously, there's nothing we can do. We can't kick him out. You're not going to leave it to your house. After that, it gets physical. At some point, he grabs a knife, you grab a knife, you guys get to tussling or whatever. It's a fight. You fall a couple times in the living room, on the mirror, the table breaks. Now, does he purposely break your stuff at any point?
Yeah, like for the table, he grabbed it.
Is it a glass table?
Yeah.
Okay.
And was like, his whole thing was, like I said before, you keep throwing my shit outside, I'm about to break everything in your house. So that's how the table got broke.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, so the couch is up because now at that point, I'm just trying to toss all my stuff to the side so he won't break it.
Sure. Understandable.
So.
Alright, so you guys are both holding knives at some point, you're fighting. You guys fall a bunch of times.
Yeah, but then mine is, like I said, mine is broken. Like, because he, he's a man. So I didn't have mine long.
Do you ever feel him stab you?
I mean, I at the moment when you're adrenaline rushing, you don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when I woke up, I felt everything. From my throat to my lip to my arm, my fingers, like, I feel it now.
Okay. So after you guys are done fighting, he says you're bleeding, let me bandage you up.
Yeah,
So
he went and got the first aid kit, and he was like, babe, let me bandage you up. He put and I'm fighting. I'm like, no, get the off
Is
me,
he
don't
bleeding
touch
at
me.
this point?
No, I didn't see no
his shirt or
blood,
anything
nothing.
like that?
I did not see nothing at all.
Okay. So he bandages you up, you go upstairs and go to sleep?
Yeah.
But before he bandaged you up, you said you were still fighting.
Yeah, I was still, I'm like, just leave me alone, whatever, don't touch me. He like, babe, stop.
Did either one of you still have the knife at that point?
No.
Okay.
How did the knife end up outside?
I don't even know.
There's a black steak knife with blood on it outside the house. How did that get there?
I don't know. Like I said, we was fighting out, we was, in and out. So I'm literally throwing his stuff outside. That's why you see the fireworks or, all that stuff or whatever. Because I'm throwing his stuff outside. So me and him is in and out the house.
Okay. So he bandages you up, you go upstairs, go to sleep, you wake up this morning and you find him down there. And he's bleeding, cold to the touch. And then you go to your neighbor's house, Jamal, call 911.
Because I'm panicking so much, like I couldn't even find a charger for my own phone.
Did you say anything to the 911 dispatchers?
Yeah, I was like, my boyfriend is laying here, and they was like, oh, can you turn him on his back or something? They was asking me questions, and I'm just like, I was telling them whatever I told them, and I was just telling them like, can just get somebody here because I don't know. I hear him.
Just like an exhale?
Yeah,
okay.
But it wasn't just one. It was several.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, he can be, somebody needs to get here. Because I was just scared.
Sure, I understand.
He was cold, and the last time I touched somebody cold was my grandmother in a casket. So I just didn't know.
Okay. Do you know, after you call 911, you go back to the house?
Yes, I was at the house.
When you found him this morning, how was he laying?
Just regular, like he was by the shoes, and he was laying like this.
On his side?
Yeah, on the side or whatever. He was just like he was sleeping.
Like hand tucked in his arm?
Yeah, like he was sleeping like this.
This is yet another absurd claim by Benita. An autopsy of Kieran's body after this interview placed his time of death to be 12:30 a.m. It is not possible that he survived into the morning to be able to exhibit any signs of life like the one Benita mentions. The most unfortunate aspect of this incident is that Kieran had a chance to survive. Although being stabbed in the heart is highly lethal, all Benita had to do was call 911, who would have provided emergency care. Yet she chose to be selfish and let him lie there until the morning. Even worse is the fact that she is even trying to lie her way out of this interrogation room, which is why this next conversation is so heartbreaking.
There was a point, though, between the bandaging, when he bandaged you up, you said there was another type of altercation. After he bandaged you up, then the car argument started. You were like, I'm about to get my keys, so can you remember what happened between that time?
I'm not sure if that was before or after he bandaged me up. But I'm going to say this. Once he began to bandage me up, that's when the argument started to die down.
So it might have been right before he started bandaging me up.
Okay, so after he bandaged you up, you guys didn't have
No.
any more physical altercation?
No.
Like that?
I was just trying to tell him, just like, leave me alone. I don't need you to bandage me up. I just don't want to be bothered with you. And I went upstairs.
Alright, so at some point he received this wound. This pretty bad wound. Can you try to pinpoint at any specific time when he would have received that? Because that's, I'm sure after he received it, everything was he was probably normal, like adrenaline kicks in, all that kind of stuff. But there had to have been one specific point, because that's a big wound to receive. Like, that's not, an accidental like dig.
What you mean, like
on his side, that where the blood was, that's a big wound to receive. Like, that's not like
not anything about, or not to know about, is what we're saying. So we both know, everything's been out on the table. We both know there was a fight. We both know
he's
you
obviously
had
bigger
knives.
than you, stronger than you.
We both know you had knives. We just need to pinpoint exactly when he got the wound on his side that ultimately,
I mean, it probably
caused
happened
you to be sitting here.
when we both had knives and we fell into the mirror. That's probably when it happened.
Did he say anything?
No, he didn't say nothing. He didn't say, oh, you stabbed me, or I'm cut, or he didn't say nothing like that. And I never saw no blood until this morning.
So what makes you think that happened when you guys fell into the mirror? Just off the top of your head.
Just because it was just a lot. It was a lot. I was tumbling over the pillows. He was falling on me.
And at that time, you both had knives in your hands.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Is there a chance that you stabbed him to get him off of you?
No.
To get him away from you? To kind of like de-escalate this and like protect yourself at some point? Or, I mean...
If... I'm going to say this. If I felt that way in that altercation, then that's what happened. But I don't remember that. And all I know is, like you just said, he's a man, and I'm going to defend myself.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. Because if we're talking about two different things here, right? So we're talking about this happening because of other circumstances that were going on, or we're talking about something that, I don't want to say it's unwarranted, but, something like this happening, this is not common. You know what I mean? Like, we handle these all the time, but this is for us.
I know. I don't remember everything. If there was a time where I was trying to get him off of me, then that possibly happened. Because we've been here before. If you check our records, he's been in jail for putting his hands on me before.
Did it possibly happen, or did it happen? Because this is things that we need to know. Because these timelines and these series of events are going to help us pinpoint exactly what happened.
That's what I'm saying. I know for sure I didn't just bluntly stab him. Okay? I know I had the knife for protection. But I did not bluntly just do anything to get him, to stop anything, or to like, oh, you scaring me, I'm gonna stab you, this, that. Like, it had to have happened when we was tussling. Because I just wanted it in my hand to know that, you're not about to me.
Yeah, you're not around.
You're not about to over me. You're not about to put your hands on me.
So at some point you're tussling, do you ever feel that knife go in him? Or feel like any pressure on that knife? I mean, because you're going to remember that, whether you're drunk or not, you're going to remember that, something like that happening. That's not something that you don't remember. Like, I remember being drunk, getting in bar fights, or getting into a fight and get punched in the face, and, you remember that no matter how drunk you are.
I'm trying to. I really am. I'm trying to recall the whole night.
Think about it hard.
I am.
Benita mentions something interesting in this conversation: Kieran's jail time. While it is true that in February of 2022, Kieran was arrested for domestic battery, the charges were dropped as Benita failed to appear in court. Interestingly, officers at the scene also reported that Kieran had sustained far more injuries than Benita had. So if she really was in an abusive relationship, why would she not pursue these charges? Why was Kieran the one who was more roughed up than her? The answer to these questions is simple. Benita is leveraging their troubled history to paint a picture of a pitiful woman at the mercy of her violent boyfriend, all the while refusing to acknowledge that she was equally as responsible, if not more. And in the next few minutes, you will see this facade break down catastrophically as officers begin to confront her with the absurdity of her story.
I don't know, like...
Listen, you're not, this is no judgment, okay? This doesn't make you a bad person for whatever happened, alright? I don't want you to think that this is something that him and
I'm
I
just
have
trying to
never
get
done.
to the point where that happened, where like, because I know he jumped on me.
You're getting there.
I know
you're walking us through it. You
Yeah,
were right
I know
there.
he jumped on me, and
Now, where are you at when he jumps on you?
You left off. You were in the kitchen.
well, we was in the kitchen, and I was going to the back to get a bag to put his stuff in, and I was by the stove, and like,
At this point, the knife was still in your hand because you were throwing stuff out.
Yeah.
Still, right?
I just know that I wasn't about to be beat up and bleeding somewhere, or like,
Did it happen?
it had to, because I was, after that point, it was like, okay, now you want to fight me. So then within that window, it was just like, I was just fighting. And then that's when I remember him trying to bandage me up, talking about I was bleeding.
When you walked in the kitchen to get the bags, where was he standing?
He was still by the door. He was by the
So
door.
he was by the door right where we found him this morning, right?
Yeah, right there. But he was alive or whatever,
Yeah,
standing
yeah.
up, and he was.
But when you came around that corner, when you were walking past that stove, he was standing by the door. What happened in that moment? Something happened in that moment, because you're getting there and you want to say it, but I feel like you think.
I'm trying to use the exact. I'm trying to give you the exact action.
Yeah, and that's what we need. So explain it, because
I
you're
think this
there.
happened in the kitchen, too. The blood splatter
Well, that's where we're at right now.
makes it
Yeah.
make me believe that it didn't happen anywhere else but the kitchen.
So you got to take us to that moment, because this is your time, okay?
I'm trying to remember. I really am.
And we want to help you out the best we can.
I don't know if he like jumped on me or I don't know, but we was tussling in that kitchen.
I think you're right there. See, and he's standing by the door.
And I
You're
grabbed the
coming toward
bag
him.
and I went. That's why the crates and stuff is outside, because his stuff was in the crates right there where my pantry is.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you've been beat up before, right? He's beat your before, right? So you were fed
several
up.
men
So
just
you were
beat my before.
Listen, so you were fed up.
Yes.
That's understandable. Okay? Some shit happened beforehand. He's standing by the door. You have a knife in your hand. You already know he's fired up. You've already been into it. You're probably bleeding at this point. You're done.
Yeah, I think you
You've
had enough. Because whatever happened right there. And I
Right.
think you just had enough of it. I think
No, it
things
wasn't
boiled
that I
over.
had enough, like, because I don't, like, I'm not going to just
Not enough.
stab him
No.
and be like, oh,
Yeah.
like, no.
But
We was in an altercation.
okay.
And even within that altercation, I'm still not like, get off of me.
Sure.
Like, no, I'm not doing that. We had to have tussle, and that happened. Because regardless of what me and him going through, I'm not like, oh, I hate you or nothing like that, or, you know, I was just going to try to drop him off to his mom's house and leave like that. Nobody expected this to happen.
Whatever happened in that kitchen. Wherever he's lying is probably where this happened at. Because whatever happened was pretty traumatic. So,
I don't think it happened and then he bandaged you up and then you went upstairs and he laid down. I think whatever happened there, I don't think he left the kitchen.
no.
I don't think he ever left that spot by the door. It happened right there. Well, what we need is just you to kind of walk us through. You're right there. you're right there, and I know you're scared to say
But that's
it.
the thing, like, nothing happened after that. That's literally what I remember. I remember him coming to me. It was blood. I was already bleeding.
Yeah.
So it was blood on his shirt, too, you know, from me. So that altercation, it had to happen in that kitchen. And then
He never left that kitchen.
Right.
At that point, yeah.
Because he never followed me upstairs.
Right. So
I said, F you. He was like, whatever, this is that. I remember hearing his voice before I went upstairs.
when you went upstairs, did he lay down? Was he on the ground when you went upstairs?
No.
Where was he?
He was just downstairs.
Where at?
In the living room.
There's no blood. That's the problem. Like, there was no trail of blood from the kitchen to the living room back to the kitchen again. And he was bleeding a lot. So that, like...
Right, but that's the whole thing. It happened at like 1 or 2 in the morning. It's what time did I call y'all?
8:30?
Right. So, I mean, I watch a lot of shows and a lot of shit. Like, it wasn't a lot of blood.
We're not saying like he was deceased right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's probably still talking to you, but we're trying to fill in the blanks because there's a blank. You've told the story, and the last time you told the story was perfect. That was spot on. We were right there. Then we get to that point where something happened that we skip over every time.
No, we're not skipping over nothing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No,
I don't.
I know. I'm trying to get you to remember so it makes sense, because there's a point to where he was stabbed, and we're missing that. I think you know when it happened. It's just, I think you're just worried about.
I'm not worried about nothing. I'm a very honest person. I do not recall me literally stabbing him. I don't recall me just.
We're not saying you did it intentionally. Like I said, I was trying to explain. You've been in situations before. You've gotten your beat. People just. Sometimes you just can't take it anymore.
From when we going from getting them bags and then about to go get his stuff, it had to happen right then and there. I don't recall. I don't remember. You know, I probably, because I'm still a little bit drunk, so probably when I sober up, it'll, you know, come back to me. But I just remember Keyron was very aggressive. And I just wasn't about to get my again.
That's understandable.
And we're not faulting you for that. I mean, that doesn't make you a bad person. Give me 1 second, okay? Do you need another water or a snack or something?
I'll take another water.
You want water? Alright, yeah, give us 1 second. We'll be right back. You use the restroom?
No.
You alright for now?
Benita refuses to elaborate exactly how and where Keyron got stabbed, but what she doesn't know is she has left behind a piece of evidence so important that it would play the biggest role in sealing her fate.
Hey, real quick, you said that your camera can be accessed from your phone. Is that right? You're just not really familiar how to do it?
Yes.
Alright, so what I'm going to have you do is I want you to read over this, okay? This is another consent form. It's for your phone, alright? So I'll have you read over this. What's your address? 1, 2. Alright, so what I want you to do is read over this one, okay? And then this one is going to be for the actual DVR system that's in your house, so I can get into that and watch that. Because that's going to help. I think that's going to help you quite a bit. You know what I meant to ask you? Did you call anybody during this altercation that you guys had, or did he call anybody?
I'm not sure.
Did you send any like messages or anything like that?
Honestly, I really don't know.
Did you ever call the police after we left the first time?
I don't think so.
No.
I think I called them and I probably had them on speaker or something like that because
I remember calling them, but in the midst of me arguing with him, I forgot that I called him.
I got you.
So when I turned around, I seen them.
Okay. So it was like a 911 open line almost, which is why we were sent there, I'm assuming.
Well, I must have.
It's just where it says signed. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Did your neighbors ever, one of the neighbors said that they might have stopped over or something? I'm assuming that's probably not true.
Who?
I don't know. I don't even know who it was.
The only neighbor that I'm cool with is the neighbor that I use the phone. And that fat lady and whoever she was with, I don't talk to them. We don't.
Yeah, she was driving me nuts. That's why I want to get out of there.
We do not speak. I don't speak to her. She don't speak to me.
The officer just took consent to search her house camera and mobile phone. However, the password Benita provided to her phone was wrong, probably because she knows the kind of horrors it hides. Sometime after this interview, investigators finally cracked her devices and found text and voice messages that not only showed her verbally attacking Kieran, but also threatening his life. Benita made several racial remarks towards Kieran. She would also constantly berate and belittle him by questioning his masculinity, often referring to him as a young man and asking him to be manlier and more muscular. In one instance, she threw a string of curses at Kieran for failing a job interview and even stated, "Don't be surprised if a beating comes for your ass out of the blue." To make matters worse, several of Kieran's friends testified that he often had to ask Benita to be able to meet them. These same friends also repeatedly said that Kieran was incredibly loyal to her and would never cheat. Unfortunately, these detectives are unaware of this, but are incredibly suspicious after she provided the wrong password. Now, for one last time, they will sit her down to get a confession out of her, but they do not realize that Benita is about to put on her best act yet.
So, this is what we're going to do, okay? Take a deep breath for me. We're going to get through this. We'll work through this one step at a time, alright? Hearing you talk today, you're not a bad person by any means. I want you to know that, okay? I want you to know that. Nothing you've said to us today has made it come off as you're this evil person or anything like that, okay? What I want to do now is you walked us through this before step by step, okay? So I want to go back to when a friend of yours told you that he was cheating on you. What was the extent, like how did that come about?
It was, okay, Jackie, this lady Jackie around the corner who lied to him for the last 2 years about the baby being his.
What baby?
Her name was Leela Fickley. She's in the last report with me and him for the domestic violence.
You guys don't have a child in common, right?
No.
Okay.
She was like, supposedly, she messing with this guy, and his ex-wife supposedly told her that her and Kieran was still around. Don't care, because Jackie always lying.
Okay.
But I can be petty, and I set it up to him. I'm like, okay, you've been cheating, this is that. So we got into a little argument, and we wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Okay.
So we wasn't talking.
When was that?
That was probably like 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay. So you approached him with it and said, did you ask him straight up?
No, it was a text message. It was like, I'm like, oh, you acting funny, you probably might as well, continue talking to the bitch that you've been cheating on me with.
I got you.
And then that was the reason why we was not talking.
Okay. So there was like a period before this, like 2 or 3 days where you guys, like very little communication?
Yeah, we wasn't even talking. Like the whole day, like when I went to go drop the key off to him, he was at his buddy Frank's house. And I went to my sister's house. We just wasn't talking.
He was still sleeping there, right?
Huh?
He was still sleeping, like living with you?
Yeah.
You guys just were not communicating?
Yeah, it was just that one day.
So yesterday, what was the boiling point? Like, did he get pissed off about it again, or what happened?
No, I'm telling you. He went to Frank's house.
Uh-huh.
I woke up to go get me a job and handle my business. When I came back, he was gone. He was at Frank's house, and I went to go drop the key off to him so he can get back in. And then I went to my sister's house.
Okay. And then when you got home, that's when things kind of blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Did he approach you first about it? Like, how did that argument start?
I believe when I got home, he had a situation because our agreement was we was going to be in the house by 12 o'clock.
Okay.
So when I got home, it was probably a little bit after 12.
Okay.
And he didn't like that, or he, had an issue with that.
What did he say to you?
I don't remember.
No. Okay. But so the whole initial fight started because you just got home a couple minutes late, and he got pissed off about that. So you guys are verbally arguing at this point? Does it become physical? Yet? And then you call the police to have him removed, and nothing physical happened, right? Until after the police left.
No, that's why the police got called, because I felt as though it was about to get physical.
Okay.
And like I said, I was drunk. I don't recall anything. It probably was some shoving and pushing before the police got called,
But nothing out of the ordinary.
nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. And then you call the police, we show up. Obviously, things probably got a little bit heated because you wanted him out, nothing we can do. And were you agitated at that point?
Yeah, I kept closing the door and trying to lock the door, but he had the key around his
So
neck.
he just kept coming back
So
in?
he kept coming back in.
Okay.
So then I snatched the key thing or whatever, but by that time, he was already in, and then the door closed. Closed the door and locked it. But the police are still outside.
Okay.
And then they just left.
So now you guys are both inside.
Yeah.
You have your key back though, right?
Well, supposedly it's
Somewhere.
somewhere. It was around his neck.
Okay. So after the police leave, you guys are still obviously heated, right? It's arguing, and I'm sure when you thought he was cheating, I'm sure you probably called him some names or whatever, right?
I mean, it's not about the cheating. Like
I'm not.
that
No,
was
no,
just
no, no,
something
no,
petty
I
that
don't
I
think it
said. Like me and him get into it a lot. I got videos on my phone of him outside yelling to the top of his lungs. Like we get into it every other day.
How long have you guys been together? I don't know if I remember you saying that.
We only been together about a year and a couple months.
So after we leave, things get physical, right? Walk me through this again? How it gets physical?
I'm trying to remember everything that I told you.
Yeah.
Before.
Don't think about what you told me. Think about what happened.
No, because what I'm still intoxicated, so it's like. It just got heated. Like we both just firecrackers, so it just went there.
Who got physical first?
He got physical first because he didn't like me throwing stuff outside.
What did he do? Walk us through exactly what he did when he got physical. What was that like? And
like
what did he do?
He just he shoved me, so I fell, and then he was just like up in my face and stuff like that. So, I'm just fighting back at this point.
So you guys are fighting with each other, then you grab a knife?
I go towards this thing or whatever, and that's the knife that don't have no handle on it. I didn't have shit. It was gone. That was that. Then he was like, oh, you want to try to grab a knife? I'm going to get one too. And he grabbed a knife. And, oh, shit.
So where are you at in the house at this point? You grabbed the knife and then...
We in the kitchen, and like I told you before, I'm still just throwing the shit out. So that's the knife with no handle, so I'm just throwing this shit out. In the midst of me throwing his shit out, he I'm gonna f up your shit. So that's how the table got broke and stuff like that. So when I go back in to, prevent him from f up my shit. That's how the mirror got by the stairs, because I moved the mirror.
Okay, that makes more sense, because I was wondering why that was over there.
Yeah, I moved because it was on the wall when you first walk into the living room. It was up against this wall.
Okay.
I moved the mirror over there.
Okay. And
then I put the couch up. That's why the shit is on the floor, because I'm throwing it, and I put the couch up or whatever. So, in the midst of me doing that, I stopped, I took this shit, and I continued to throw his shit out.
Are you throwing out the back door or the front door?
The door that y'all came to.
Okay.
So, I'm doing that. He don't like that. So then he goes back into the living room, try to vandalize some more stuff, get to fighting. I'm throwing the stuff out, that's when another knife come about. So then, because I'm like, okay, he not about to f me up, so I got it close to me.
Okay.
So then that's when I stopped throwing his stuff out, and then I go back in the living room. Then we get into an altercation again. That's how the mirror got broke, and we tumble over the pillows and stuff. So that's how that happened.
Okay.
And then after that, it was just.
What happens after that? Walk me through that.
That's when like I told you before, we was in the kitchen, and I was by the stove, and I wish there was a camera in there because I blacked out, like I was just fighting him. He was fighting me, so I was fighting him,
And he was by the door, and you were by the stove.
Yeah, I was by the stove.
So when you said
and then
you were by the
by
stove, where was he at?
In my face. He was,
Are you guys face to face?
Yeah.
Arguing?
And you still had the knife?
Yeah.
Okay. What hand was the knife at?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
So it was in my right hand.
Benita is inconsistent in her narrative yet again. For example, at some points, she claims Kieran grabbed the knife first, and at others, she grabbed it first. Even after the consistent questioning, Benita never explicitly admits she stabbed Kieran. It's always just a possibility. She has yet again skipped the details of the stabbing.
And then we get into it again or whatever. Now by this time, we back outside because his stuff is outside. And I do recall me because like I told you, I'm not no, stab type of person, but I do I was waving it, get the fuck away from me, get back, this, that. But he didn't care. He said, Katie, coming for me or whatever. So I'm just trying to remember everything.
So he's facing you at this point, right?
Yeah.
You've got the knife in your right hand.
Yes. And I'm just I'm like, get back, I'm like, don't, I'm just trying to keep him away from me.
But now, what knife is this? What kind of knife?
I think it was a knife with a black handle.
Okay. So what happens next?
And this was outside, right, where the knife was found?
Yeah, I guess that was the knife that was outside.
Where you're at in your story. You said you were both outside.
Yeah, we went outside, and I was waving the knife, but then I'm going back into the house.
Okay.
Because in the midst of me arguing and shit, I still don't, that was my whole thing with him. Don't embarrass me. We don't need to be outside and everybody can hear us. So I was going back into the house.
Okay.
And then, like I said, the last thing I remember, he was not injured. It was nothing, and I just.
Well, what happens when you get back into the house? Walk us through that. So you get back in the house, so he comes in the house.
Yeah, and the screen doors popped open and stuff, and like I said, we was just fighting. We just kept fighting the whole night.
Knife still in your hand. Does he have his knife in his hand too?
Yes.
So you guys both still hold knives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And at some point, I didn't have a knife no more. Because when I went upstairs, and once the altercation was done, and he was trying to bandage me, I didn't have nothing.
So how did this altercation come to an end? How did this all stop?
Last I remember, he was looking for my keys because he kept saying he was about to go. I hid my keys, and I went upstairs.
When does he try to bandage you up?
Before then. At this time, when he's trying to bandage me up, the glass is already broken. The mirror is broken. The table is broken. All of this furniture and all of that stuff is already up. That's why I was saying, maybe it was just his adrenaline or something like that, because my last words with him was not in the kitchen, and then I just went upstairs. He was still talking to me. He, said words, and that
what was he
that.
saying exactly to you when
he
you
was
were
just
walking
saying,
upstairs?
when I went upstairs or whatever, I was saying like, F you, I don't care, whatever, this is that, I'm done, and I'm gonna drop you off to your mom's house. And he was saying whatever he was saying. I wasn't trying to listen because I made in my mind. I was gonna drop him off at his mama's house today.
Was this fight was this like every other fight you guys have ever had?
I mean, to this point of stuff being broken, we've never got there. But it's a hole in my wall from him, punching a hole in the wall. And like I said, I got videos in my phone of him, yelling outside. So we get heated.
Has there already been weapons involved in any of your fights at all?
Yes.
Like knives? So there's been knives.
It's been knives before. Like, I'll grab the knife and I'm like, don't come at me or whatever, this is that. And with the DV charge or whatever, like, he was in my face and I was just going like this. And it poked him in his face 2 times. So he was like, I'm telling them they need to take you to jail. Look at my face, because he grabbed me with the domestic violence case. He grabbed me and like put me up in the corner, but had me up, and I couldn't breathe. So at that point, I was just scratching, and I was just trying to get him off of me. And the police got called that time, and they took him. When I came down here, and I filled out a report, and I had the baby, Leela, that I was telling you about, and that was that.
During this conversation, Benita mentioned that Kieran was constantly looking for the keys that she had hidden. This is the most tragic part of this incident, as this meant that after being stabbed, Kieran was desperately searching for the keys so he could drive himself to the hospital. But just to make him suffer, Benita prevented him from even doing that, and right now, she is downplaying the situation severely.
So when you poked him in the face with a knife, was it that night, that incident that happened?
No, it wasn't this incident.
No, when you signed the domestic violence charges. So was that before he choked you?
That was right after.
Right after, and you just kind of like poked him in the face with it.
Yeah, like I was before. Like get back, like get the out of my face. And I don't give a about that. Da, 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 da. And it's just like I would always tell him, like, you don't know what I've been through. I've been drugged down the street by a car. The dude done broke my toes and, broke my jaw, all type of stuff. So it's like I'm just defensive.
Sure. So is that what happened last night too?
Yes, pretty much, because I know, to me, 3rd time is the charm. You punched a hole in my wall, you broke my windshield on my car, you almost choked me out to where I blacked out almost a little bit. So it was just like, I just wasn't about to let it go to another level. And then when we talk or whatever, and he'd be like, oh, you cheat on me, I'm gonna kill you. If I ever find out this, it would just be little stuff like that. So when we get into an argument, that stuff pops up in my head.
Sure, understandably so.
So
is that what happened last night then? Like, all of this kind of boiled over?
Yeah. From previous arguments, it just got to that point last night.
Or was like, enough is enough?
I mean, I guess for him, because I've seen him mad before, but not like that. So.
What do you mean? What was he doing different than he would have before, as far as his behavior?
Like, he would yell and stuff, but I've never seen like his eyes that big or the veins popping out of his neck, like angry. I've never seen that. And like I told him before, I'm like, you starting to do like this little devilish look, like you starting to look real evil.
So is that what led to this, him receiving all this injury and all this kind of crazy shit that happened?
Yes.
So
I was basically defending myself.
So, okay. And that's the stuff I need to know, right? I need to know that kind of stuff. This is what we've been working for this whole time here, okay? I need to know how he got that injury. You need to be honest with me, okay?
No,
this is what we've been working for the whole time. You just told me yourself that you were defending yourself, and I need to know. This dancing around how this happened is not going to.
No, I'm not trying to dance around nothing. Like, I literally was drunk, so I don't remember everything. So I just know that it got to a point where I was defending myself.
And I'm okay with that. I'm alright with that. But I need to know how that injury happened. Okay, I need to know how he got that injury.
We were fighting. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I had a knife in my hand. I probably went like this, or I went, you know, this, or I went like that, but like did this too. Mm-hmm. But I was just defending myself. I was trying to back him up off of me.
When did that happen?
We had to be in the kitchen.
We were in the kitchen.
We had to be in the kitchen, in the midst of kitchen, outside. Like, we had to be in that area.
So is that what ended it?
No, because after we got into that, I remember going upstairs and he was still talking to me. Okay. It wasn't like that happened and, oh, he dropped and I'm like, oh, all right, I'm going upstairs. No. He was still talking to me.
So that makes sense to me because you're right-handed and his injury's on his left side. And if you guys are face-to-face, that makes sense of how he received that. So I appreciate you telling me that because that makes a lot more sense than I don't know how that happened. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me. So after this happens, right? After he gets hit, what do you do with that knife? Where does that knife go?
I just dropped it or like, because like I said, it was knives everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it had to just get slung or something. Like, I don't remember placing nothing nowhere or be like, oh, dropping it. Like, no. I don't know.
Did you hide it?
No.
Okay. I gotta ask you. Okay.
We have to ask.
He and I haven't been to your house except for when we got you back here, so we don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
So I'm asking you because I don't know.
Yeah.
So after he gets hit, do you immediately go straight upstairs?
No. Like I said, after we got into that altercation where all the knives was, when I sat on that couch and he was bandaging me up, there was no knives nowhere. It was nothing. It was kind of like he was like, oh, babe, you bleeding, this is that, like, just chill. I don't want to fight you no more.
Now, is this after he gets hit?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I remember. The last thing I remember was him bandaging me up, and I went upstairs. And like I said, I was still talking my shit, and he was downstairs.
Okay. So that makes more sense. This makes a lot more. This is all becoming a little bit more clear now. That matches up with his injuries. All right, so that makes sense to me. Okay. Did you call anybody after?
No.
When you went upstairs?
No.
Do you know if he called anybody?
I don't know.
Bonita has still not revealed the details, and the interrogation comes to a standstill. But this is when officers receive a crucial piece of evidence, one that will make Bonita realize she just wasted 2 hours of her life lying in vain.
I received some information, all right? So, everything you told me before, all right, I believe you, for the most part. The only thing I'm having a hard time with is I just found out that he's got a wound right here, not in his side.
Right there?
It's in the top of his chest, all right? So that wound in the side is not there. I was wrong. Okay. It's in his chest. Okay. So let's figure out how that happened, all right?
Well, that goes to the point, when I was saying I was just doing anything with the knife, like to get him back from me.
So it actually went into him at some point. It had to have.
Okay, well, I don't recall it, but like I said, I can actually say this in court. I was doing this and this to get him away from me.
Okay. So at some point, you're face to face, and you're going like this, and at some point, you stab him in the chest, just flailing around, right? So basically what you're telling me is you're swinging the knife around, you didn't intend to stab him,
no,
but it happened.
I mean, because if that was the whole intention, like if you're going to keep coming close to me and harming me, you're going to get stabbed because I have a knife, and I'm clearly got it in my hand, and I'm doing this. Like, why would you keep, walking up to somebody with a knife that's going like this? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So I would assume it's probably safe to say you wish you probably would have never grabbed that knife in the first place, right?
Yes, I wish I would have never grabbed it because
that led to this mess that we're in here. So the other thing
I don't hate him that much.
I don't think you do.
Like,
I don't think you do.
I actually thought I met my person.
The other thing that I want to talk about too is after he gets hit in the chest, right? He's not going to be up for very long after that. All right, after hitting one in the chest, you're not going to be very long. You're going to hit the ground pretty quick. And he has no blood on his underwear, meaning that once he was hit, he fell fairly quick. All right. So tell me what happened after that happened. I know you're telling me he bandaged you up, but
that's what I'm saying. Like,
something else.
Literally, if I would have seen my fiance hit the ground after me and him having an altercation, it's not much for me to get in the car and go 7 minutes around the corner. He did not hit no ground. He did not do that. Like, he was still trying to get his stuff back in the house and everything.
He did not hit in the kitchen or outside?
He was in the kitchen when I woke up, so it had to happen.
Where
in
you
the
stabbed
kitchen.
him, was it in the kitchen or was it outside?
Sir, we was fighting from outside to the kitchen to the living room. I don't recall where it happened.
Okay.
But when I went to sleep, Kieron Ficklin was still up.
Where did he bandage you up at?
In the living room.
No, on your body. On your body.
Just my thumb.
Your thumb? So what did he do? He grabbed a Band-Aid and put it on you?
He got the first aid kit.
Where was the first aid kit?
The first aid kit was in the back, where my hair room is.
Like, right to the left of the back door? Or the front
Yes.
door?
So when you come in, the hair room is that way, laundry room or whatever. And then when you go in there, you make another right, and they were to the back, like, top of the crates. So he had to go in, turn, go this way, and then look down, to get the bandages and stuff.
So he got a Band-Aid, put one on your finger, and then you went upstairs? So it's safe to say this probably only took 3 or 4 minutes from the time you got the Band-Aid to put on your finger,
yes.
and you going upstairs, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes-ish. I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see here. I want to make sure I got everything else right. Alright. There's one more thing I gotta grab.
It's frustrating because I'm telling the story, and I'm telling him what he did, but he's not. I don't want to talk about him like that. Like, yes, I was defending myself, but I love him. And we had so much potential. Like, when we good, we great. It's so much laughter, it's so much fun.
When things got bad, they got bad, huh?
And it was like, I met him. He was going through that stuff with that girl. I had impacted on my spiritual journey. If they walking around my house, they gonna see my stones and my candles and stuff. Like, I was not no yelling, argumentative type of person. He definitely brought that out of me, but it was to a point where I could just be like, okay, this is not what I really want for us. So then he went and bought his stones and stuff. He would meditate with me. It was just when he got mad, there's no turning back when somebody's mad to that point.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't, make up for your father not loving you or leaving you. I can't make up for your mom doing what she doing. I can't make up for that girl lying to you for the past 2 years. And like, it would be hard on me, but it wasn't nothing that I couldn't deal with. It was just when he got there, it's like I'm back into a little kid. I'm back into that person that was once abused and stuff like that. So I know I was just doing this. That's all I was doing. Just back up, just get away from me. It wasn't never my intention to really harm him. I just was trying to protect myself.
Trying to get out. Well, I'm sorry that this happened. What's going to have to happen at some point is I'm going to have a female officer take photographs of your injuries too, okay? We're going gonna get you to change your clothes. We're gonna have to take your
Like a
clothes.
bad person.
I don't think you are.
I don't
Neither
need
of
to
us
be
do.
in this situation. Like,
None of us are here judging you.
We don't think you're a bad person.
I don't get. That's not what I do. Like, I got into altercations with plenty of. I broke a guy's arm before. You know, like I defend myself. You know, and it was not like I just, had a knife and was like, like I'm just like back up, don't hurt me, just back up.
I do have to have a female officer, and we do got to take your clothes, but we're going to get you something different, okay? So bear with us in this next couple minutes, and we'll try to make this as fast as possible.
Yeah, because I'm going to jail.
I didn't say that.
But it was just because I was defending myself. He was jumping on me, so I grabbed the crowbar and I hit him in the arm. Like, I don't understand this. I really don't understand this. I don't understand. I'm not understanding this. I really am not.
Not only did she just get caught as the murderer, officers just received information on another clue that clearly meant Benita was trying to hide the evidence.
Really quick, while our evidence guys were processing, they found a wet and bloody mop. How did that get there?
The mop and all that stuff is right by the door. I hang everything right there.
The mop was in the kitchen, or in the living room. So how did that get there?
I didn't grab the mop.
Why
I
is
didn't
it
touch the
bloody?
mop.
Or
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. When I went upstairs, I don't know if he like tried to clean up for me bleeding everywhere or something like that. But I never grabbed him out. I never tried to clean up
nothing?
the stuff. No.
Because it was wet too. So that's
Right.
what we're trying to figure out. Like,
Right.
if you were just
No.
panicking, trying to clean up. Or
No.
like,
When I woke up, I went downstairs and I seen him, and I looked out the door. His 2 suitcases was outside. So I went outside and I got those. I didn't bother him or anything, because even when he sleeps normally, I would lift his arm up and he would not get up. I literally have to shake him to wake him up. So, and then that was that. I didn't even see the mop. I never touched no mop.
So did you open the door, bring the suitcases in, and then call?
Yeah. Because like I said, I didn't disturb him. I'm like, okay, well, he probably still asleep.
You didn't see all that blood?
No, I didn't see him. I didn't see that until I actually just went there. But I knew I was bleeding last night, so I didn't think nothing of it until I actually went over there and I was like, "Bae," and then I'm like, "Bae," and then I felt that he was cold, and like I moved him like this, and he was still stiff. So then I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, let me call somebody, because I don't know what the.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. That's all I need. I just wanted to clear that little part up real quick.
Benita had likely used the mop to clean up the blood in a desperate attempt to cover up the crime scene. Unfortunately for her, it didn't work, and her schemes finally came to an end.
Benita,
Yes.
did they explain to you what's going on?
No, nobody's been back in yet.
Okay, do you know what you're being charged with?
No.
So as of right now, we're going to take you out to county on a murder charge. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen after that, so... yeah, we have to transport you out there now, and
Okay, can I call somebody?
once you get out there, they'll allow you to make phone calls, absolutely. So, just go ahead and turn around for me. You don't have anything on you right now? You've got pockets or anything?
How? It was funny. I did not murder my fiance. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna lock them that way they don't tighten up on me.
Oh my God.
Alright, just follow me downstairs.
Benita was arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. Her bond was set at $250,000, and her trial was delayed due to undisclosed reasons. This meant that until her new trial date in 2024, she was out on bail. Even after her bail, Benita didn't show any remorse over her actions. In 2023, she was supposed to be going to a balloon release for a friend who tragically took her own life. But in a strange turn of events, she stopped at a parking lot to pleasure herself while on the phone to a lover in jail. Funnily enough, it is during this fever dream that a cop noticed her car with expired plates, and the rest is history.
Hello, I'm Officer Broad, Metro Parks Police Department.
Hold on, man.
You know your license plate's expired in May?
No, this is my auntie car.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, they expired in May.
She stayed right around the corner, though. She just let me come up here because they about to have a balloon release for my friend who just killed herself up here.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, I could take it right back home if that's the case.
Okay. You just have your driver's license on you really quick? And you started up here for a balloon release for who?
Yeah, they right over there. Everybody pulling up right there. Okay. I was just on a jail call, so I pulled over here.
Okay.
I mean, but I could call her, and I could just take it right back around the corner.
That's fine. Just sit tight for me really quick. Is there any weapons or drugs or anything like that in the car?
No. I mean, I had this, I had bought a 4-pack of wine for my friend who was about to come up here with the balloon release, but that's about it.
Okay. It's not open though. Yeah.
Her sister had one already. I don't know if she put it back in there or not.
Okay. If you don't mind, if I have you step out, my partner's a canine officer. He's gonna walk his dog around the car.
Okay. I was gonna do something nasty too. I was talking nasty on the phone.
He was talking nasty. What, you on a jail call?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, that's your business.
So give me 1 second. Hello, Bookie. You gotta give me 1 second, okay?
I'm just gonna be standing right over by my car real quick while he does that. There's a firearm in here.
What's that?
There's a gun in here.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
Oh, that's it. Copy.
I don't know. I might have to make.
The guy admitted to it.
Yeah, okay.
There's a gun in there.
I know.
That's what I just said. That's what he just said. He just said that he left it in the fucking car. Stupid as
Your brain?
here, get the phone. I can't do it without the phone. Oh, I swear to God! Dumbass. Idiot. Why the you do that? No, I just called him. He said I left the gun in their seat. Why the
Okay, hold on.
that?
You just tighten your cuffs. Does he carry drugs and stuff? Because I don't want to get sick. I don't want the dog getting sick. I don't want you getting sick. You know what I mean?
I'm not lying to you. I'm already in the whole situation. I'm pretty sure y'all can see all of that in the system. All type of shit. I'm not in this situation.
I got you.
Oh! I'm pissed off!
Okay, settle down right now. Have you ever been arrested?
Yes, I'm in the whole situation right now.
Okay.
Damn, man!
What's your name?
Her name?
What's your first name?
Bonita!
Bonita.
Yeah. Ooh. I swear to fucking God, man. This shit is dumb as man, I knew I should. Oh, this shit.
I'm gonna go clear it. I don't know if you guys want to hang out for a little bit, just until I get some more stuff confirmed with this. Just because it's in the process right now, we gotta do some more confirming.
Confirming on what?
You said you're still in the court process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What court was it out of?
Elyria.
Elyria. Okay. So I gotta go ahead and call the courthouse and make sure that.
I wasn't released on no bonds, no restrictions, no hold, no nothing. Like.
Did you stay there?
I stay where?
At Elyria jail. Okay. How long were you there?
About 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Like, this shit dumb as like, why would you do that?
And they still haven't given you like a disposition, like
no,
a conviction?
I'm not. My lawyer is handling everything. I had a set trial. The trial got canceled. My next court date isn't until December 6th, and I'm still waiting on the trial.
Okay.
drunk, man.
Okay.
Consequently, Benita only received a citation for the expired plates and was charged with possession of a firearm while indicted. But she wouldn't be a free woman for long. Her trial finally took place in 2024, where the biggest challenge was finding out who the aggressor was in this troubled relationship, Kieran or Benita. The prosecution displayed several pieces of evidence and testimonies to support their claim that Kieran was the victim and that Benita intended to kill him for a long time. The defense, on the other hand, built up their stance entirely on one diagnosis from a psychologist. The psychologist diagnosed Benita with battered woman syndrome due to the violence she faced at her boyfriend's hands. However, the prosecutors would question this testimony because the diagnosing psychologist was previously found to have given a false diagnosis due to racial beliefs in another case. Kieran was a black man, and the doctor was known to publicize his beliefs that black men can never be rehabilitated and must be sent to prison. In the end, the jury concluded Benita was indeed guilty of Kieran's murder and purposefully caused his death. Benita was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 18 years.